Here's a quick question for you. What is the best looking new car for 2016? Now you might say it's the Aston Martin DB11 or the Ferrari 488 Spider. But if you ask me, it's the Lexus LC500, a real concept car for the road.
If this car looks familiar, it's probably because you've seen it before. Australia's last international motor show was held in Sydney in 2012, when Lexus stole the show with the stunning LF-LC Blue concept. That model has come to fruition as the Lexus LC500, and it is remarkably similar to the original. Sure, it's a little taller and narrower, but the general shape is right, along with cool details such as its infinity tail lamps and LED headlights. It's also magnificent to drive.
Now this really isn't like your average Lexus. I mean, just listen to how good this thing sounds when you start it up. Most Lexus cars are really quiet, refined luxury cruisers, the sort of cars driven by dentists and lawyers and doctors, successful people looking for understated transport. But that's really starting to change, and no model really shows that more than this LC500. I mean, this is a gorgeous looking car. It's almost a supercar, and it has such a heart of gold. I mean, the 5-litre engine in this LC500 is an absolute cracker. Just listen to this. How good is that? You really don't expect that sort of thing from a Lexus, but perhaps you should. Lexus makes some really interesting cars, some great performance cars. It started with the IS, and then there was the LFA supercar with the V10, and a lot of the knowledge from that supercar is in this new car, the LC500, which employs some of the technology that made that car possible. Now, the model that we're driving right now is the LC500. It's powered by a naturally aspirated 5-litre V8 with 351 kilowatts of power. Now, that's not as much as some of its rivals. Cars like a BMW M6 offer quite a bit more grunt than that, but it's more about how this car delivers its performance. That engine just loves to rev. Just listen to it.
Not only does the V8 sound good, but it also produces a reasonable 540 Newton meters of torque, sending power to the rear wheels through an impressive new 10-speed automatic transmission.
Altogether, it's quite an impressive package, one that really fits the vibe of this car quite well. Now, at the core of the LC500 is a new chassis. This car forms the underpinnings for Lexus range for the next decade or so. The next IS, GS and LS sedans will use the same underpinnings from this car, which is developed to be stiffer and lighter than before. Although I have to say, it is disappointingly heavy. The hybrid model is over 2 tons, and this big V8 one that we're driving now is around 1900 kilos. You do really feel that on the road. This isn't a sports car per se, it's more of a GT, designed to rival cars like the BMW 6 Series and the Maserati Gran Turismo. And that really comes across in the cabin. Lexus calls its craftsmen Takumi, these masters of their art that put together one of the most gorgeous cabins that you'll find on the road. There's no plastic in here whatsoever. Everything you see is hand-stitched leather. There are 4 different kinds of leather in the steering wheel, and it is all hand-sewn together by these absolute masters of their craft. And you can feel that attention to detail throughout the car. It's got an amazing sound system, a Mark Levinson stereo with a massive subwoofer in the back that sounds just absolutely fantastic. And there are lots of other welcome touches throughout the cabin. For instance, you've got a 12.3-inch infotainment screen here that's controlled by a new lovely touch capacitive element here that you can pinch and swipe and zoom, all the stuff that you'd want to do to control a car. You also have this amazing dashboard that has the tachometer design that's pinched from the LFA. So it has a tacho that can physically move from side to side to show you more of what you want to see. And it changes quite a bit if you put the car in different modes. If you pop it in sports mode here, you get a white dash, and then in normal mode it's black, things like that. It's just little touches that make this car feel quite special. Overall, I have to say that Lexus has done a great job with this car. They've set out to grab your attention, and it certainly does do that. It is utterly gorgeous to look at. It is one of the best sounding cars on the road, and it is full of technology and just little details that make you feel great about owning a car like this. Like the LFA supercar and the ISF sedan before it, this is a Lexus unlike any other. It really does push the brand into new territory, and it's a very exciting model.
Australian prices and specifications have not been released for the LC500, but we expect the brand's new flagship to cost around 200 grand when it arrives. This is a deeply impressive car, a Lexus that makes you just want to jump in and drive all day long. It's a worthy flagship for the brand and an exciting sign of things to come. The new LC500 arrives in Australia in the second quarter of 2017.